Emily.
Emily's my youngest daughter.
A good friend of mine.
A pretty good friend.
A decent friend.
Of my students.
Is one of my Girl Scouts.
A friend.
Student.
Emily was a student of mine.
Second greatest friend I've ever had in my life.
Really pretty.
He's caring, motivated, and persistent.
Nice.
He's also a really good sport and a really great team player. She's been in my troop for a long time, and she's always brought a lot of fun and energy to the troop.
Extremely bright.
Sweet, kind, considerate, funny.
She always makes sure that she's not hurting anybody's feelings.
She's really diligent and she's really determined with her work.
Creative.
Bright. She's kind and has a gentle spirit and a lot of compassion for other people. And she also has a quick wit that I can barely keep up with.
And really nice.
Funny.
And an avid leader.
She's a very smart person. She's really funny. She's very shy, but not in a bad way. There's the whole list goes on and on.
She's always nice to everybody.
She's really kind. Funny.
Is her compassion for others and her courage in standing up for what she believes in.
Very nice.
Focus on the good qualities that her classmates have.
Subtly funny.
Really nice.
Her creativity and her compassion for others.
Really good at motivational speeches.
She's a positive influence on everyone she's around. Is her laugh.
It's how nice she is to everyone, no matter what.
Emily always comes across as a very quiet, almost shy person, but then she can turn around and tell the craziest jokes that you've heard that make you roll on the floor laughing.
Would be working in Coffee House. It's a really fun experience.
Oh my goodness. I remember Emily, I think she might have been 7 years old. Not that it's one of my fondest memories, but I remember teaching her Spanish when she was in Corinne's class, and she was adorable.
So there's this one time we were doing coffee house stuff, and then you know the Elsa Let It Go from Snow Frozen whatever, and what did you laugh at? Okay, do you have to read?
No, keep going.
Okay, so like basically Emily or Maureen, one of those two, we start like throwing flour on each other and say flour Elsa. Like, you know, the like sprinkling and all of the snow and stuff. So it was pretty fun. Coffee house is usually pretty.
I remember when we went to see some random Disney movie. I guess it was a year or two ago, and through the entire movie, she was actually dying laughing. Like she was just, we could hear. Lorraine and I were sitting in the front, and she was sitting kind of on the other side of the theater, and we could just hear her giggling the whole time, and it was really funny.
Memories of Emily is the day that she came home from Sunday school, where they had been learning about how big God was, and we had invited my mom over for lunch, and so she smiled up at my mom and said, "Grandmama, God's bigger than you, but that's okay because you're older."
Emily, read books that were made in this century and not 3,000 years ago when the dinosaurs wrote them and they were bad.
Which is to believe in yourself and to stay honest to who you are. Continue being kind and don't let anybody influence you to go with the flow.
Never care what anybody else says. Always be yourself.
I have a quote for Emily. Perfection is boring. Getting better is where the fun is at. Over the next 4 years in high school, I would say to not let anyone else tell you what's important to you. Take the time to figure out what you love and what you like to do and what's important, and then don't slow down, go do it.
Is to stay outgoing and stay who you are. Stay true to yourself.
Stay away from sharp objects. Emily, stop being so negative about yourself. You're great the way you are, and there's nothing you need to change about you.
To stay strong, to keep your head in the game, and to continue being a compassionate person.
Just to not change anything about herself, because I think she's fine the way she is now.
The hardest decisions aren't choosing between good and bad, but choosing between better and best. And so as you make your way in the world, never doubt the courage of your convictions.
Is one of my best friends on the planet.
Really good friends.
Classmate, student.
A decent friend to me.
McKenna is one of my Girl Scouts.
A good friend of mine.
My students.
McKenna is my granddaughter.
Bestie
Is a really, really good friend of mine.
McKenna is the youngest of my 3 children, and she is one of the brightest of my heart. She is sassy.
Nice and funny.
McKenna is hilarious.
She's a good friend. I can always go and talk to her and she won't really judge me or anything, so.
And she's easy to talk to.
It's Marge.
I like her wit. I like her sarcasm.
She's really colorful.
A good personality.
She's out of nowhere, like she's very reliable and firm, and then out of nowhere she'll say something just absolutely hilarious. And it's really funny.
You need her, she's there, and she cheers you up when you're down.
And kind.
Really supportive.
Sweet to people. She always wants to point out their good qualities. She's extremely responsible, and I think she prides herself in always having her work done on time and never being late, which I believe she's never been late with anything throughout the whole school year.
She's really good at being a friend.
McKenna is the class mom. She is supportive and responsible and definitely the class leader.
The compassion that she has for other people.
How thoughtful she is towards other people.
My favorite thing about McKenna, I think, is that I was lucky enough to get her and to have her as a part of my life.
First of all, that she is responsible and that I can count on her to have her work done. I also think she tends to try to see the positive in everybody that's around her. And she does this especially right after Coffee House, telling everybody what a great job they did. Since she's one of the managers, I think that makes people feel good.
She helps me with schoolwork that I have trouble with.
She is a really good sport, and she's very patient with everyone.
How she will stand up for what she believes in and her friends and herself.
The friendship that we have.
She makes sure that everybody feels comfortable and welcome.
When we were at McKenna's surprise birthday, and she screamed and walked right up against the wall.
I think it was last year when the troop went to the beach. There were a bunch of jellyfish in the ocean. I didn't know that. And so we started getting stung, and McKenna very calmly, compared to the rest of the troop, kind of rounded everybody up and got them all out of the water and saved the day, and I really appreciated that.
Is the art project we did during the school year. That took us a long time, but it was a imitation of Andy Warhol, and we had some fun doing that.
One of my favorite memories of McKenna is a couple of years ago when, because coming from a divorced family, Kim invited McKenna's mother to come and join them in their home and have Christmas together with both of her parents at the same time. And she was in total amazement watching her then interact with both of her parents at the same time.
The day she learned to ride a bike. I mean, I have a lot of favorite memories, but that's one that always really sticks out because I knew she could do it, and I knew she was ready to do it on her own, but she didn't know it yet. And instead of pushing her, we just sat back and said, well, you know, when you're ready, you'll do it. And I wasn't there the moment that it happened, but she came running in the house, and she was so excited. And she said, Kim, I did it! I rode my bike! I did it all by myself! And it was a great moment as a parent to be able to stand there and say, you know what? I knew you could do it. And I am so glad that now you know. And so
I think as a mom, it was the moment where she finally realized that there was nothing that would hold her back, that she could at any point in her life do anything that she set her mind to. And to see one of your children who makes that realization that I can do anything I decide I want to do. It was a very empowering moment for her. And it was a very tender moment for me to get to watch.
Yeah, I remember McKenna when she was probably 8 years old and she first came to the school. She was extremely sweet and very talkative, and I don't have one particular memory that stands in mind, but I just think that she was just an adorable kid, and she still is.
Well, I'd like to say that high school isn't like it is in Glee. Just remember that.
McKenna, stay who you are, like I've said to a lot of people before, but don't let anybody else influence you, because you are who you are.
Don't ever underestimate what you're capable of. You are so strong and smart, and I think that whatever you want to do in high school and in college and for the rest of your life, you'll be able to do.
Stay strong in her faith. And I would also advise her to remain committed and goal-oriented and committed then to completing those goals.
McKenna, please believe in yourself. You are an amazing individual, and keep being who you are. You know, believe in what you stand for, and continue to stand up for people who are the underdog, because I think that that's one of your greatest qualities.
Never let anybody control who you are other than yourself.
McKenna, I hope you realize how special you are to me. The advice that I would give you is, because you are such a serious person, is that you will always remember, no matter how old you get, that you should always be a girl with a dream. You should always be a woman with attitude, and that you should always remain, as you are now, a lady with class.
Stay on top of your work and keep being the fun, casual, entertaining person you are.
Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to not try.
I'm Suzanne Terry from Petal, Mississippi. I'm McKenna Locke's grandmother. This is Bo, one of our dogs, and Bart Terry, her grandfather, is doing a video. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations, McKenna, from each one of us. We're very, very proud of you. When I think about some of McKenna's characteristics, good characteristics, I think about her sense of humor and her honesty. You don't ask McKenna a question and not expect an honest answer. One of my favorite things about her is her willingness to help. One Thanksgiving, and this is one of my good memories, she helped me cook the entire Thanksgiving meal for our entire family, just she and I. My advice to you is to study your books hard and learn people.
Haley Barnes is my daughter.
Good friends.
Haley is one of my very, very good friends.
My classmate.
Students.
A decent friend.
My daughter.
My friend.
She's a friend of mine. Let's go with
She's my student.
Friend. Smart and funny.
Enthusiastic.
Also extremely responsible. I like the relationship that she and I have, because she'll come and she'll ask me things on a more personal level. Not that they're personal to me, but just, you know, wants to know certain things that I can just tell her about. So I like that relationship.
Nice. She's witty, meticulous, and responsible.
Haley is a very smart person. She's very motivated, and she's good at time management.
She's an open person. She's pretty much an open book, and there's really not a lot of things that we don't know about her.
Haley is tenacious.
Hi, I'm Sarah Patino, and I've been friends with Haley since 4th grade. Haley, you know why I hated you? No particular reason, actually. Just because you were in a different class than me, that's okay. I realized you're cool. We're over that. Favorite thing about Haley? She's also hilarious. I mean, Haley is one of those people that kind of just does something that she would do normally and is hilarious. So I love that about her. She's also super smart. My favorite thing about Haley, she has a great personality. She's really weird, but like in a good way. So she's just so funny, and basically everything she does is hilarious because she just like is being herself, which is cool. My favorite memory of Haley, we were filming a video in my basement, like in 6th grade or something, and she was playing Hermione from Harry Potter, and she was wearing a hula skirt on her head as a wig to be like Hermione's hair. And it was just the funniest thing ever. I loved it. Yeah. You're welcome, Haley, for bringing that back. Okay, it's advice time now. I'm giving you the same advice as I gave Morgan, because that's my advice. Okay, ready for it? Be yourself, make friends, have fun, take risks, eat food. I'll see you sometime soon. Or you can yell at me for making this. Bye.
My favorite thing about Haley is her keen sense of humor and the timing that she uses that sense of humor.
She is who she is, and she doesn't really care if people think that she should be different. She stays true to who she is.
How much she loves older music.
Is that she pretends that she doesn't like babies, but I think that deep down inside she really does, because there have been some observations of mine where she thinks that nobody's looking, and I think that it comes across that she really does love babies. No matter what you say, Haley.
She's intelligent.
I love that when Haley sets her mind to something, she accomplishes it.
She's articulate in her sense of humor.
When the whole class was at the mall, we were all just having so much fun. It was really cool.
One of my favorite memories of Haley was when she was 4 years old. And she and I went to her first New York Yankee ball game. She was wearing a brand new Derek Jeter jersey that her mother had just bought her. She was so cute.
When I first came to this school, she basically showed me the ropes, I guess you could say, and made me feel comfortable at the school.
I think that all the memories that we've made together in the classroom are awesome memories. I think that even though she's probably one of the students that I know the least because I've had her the least amount of time, I think that the same as with all the other students, all the things that we've shared together are very special.
When we were putting together her Renaissance project.
When she was 4, our neighbor's daughter was 6 and learning to ride a bike with no training wheels, and Haley insisted on having the training wheels taken off her bike and that no one would help her, and she taught herself in 4 days to ride a bicycle at 4 with no training wheels.
Stay true to yourself.
Haley, believe in yourself. I think you're an amazing girl. I love the fact that you love the humanities. Continue to do well in that area, and that's it. Have a great high school career.
Perfection doesn't exist. That when you feel something is done, let it be done.
My advice to Haley as she prepares for high school is to stay calm, always work to your full potential, and you'll go far. Love you, hon.
Don't dim your lights for anyone. Stars shine.
What's up, Morgan?
Pretty good friends.
No, she's a good friend of mine.
My daughter.
My classmate.
Like really, really good friends.
A student of mine.
My daughter.
Friend.
My student.
Good friend of mine.
Morgan is incredibly talented.
She could always make me laugh.
Morgan's a very easygoing, fun person. She's very motivated to do things.
How clumsy she is.
Just one of those people that cheers you up.
Morgan is very easygoing. It's very difficult. Well, not very difficult. It's very hard to ever see her upset with anybody.
Morgan is an eternal optimist. There's always hope. There's always a possibility. Anything can happen.
She's funny and nice.
She's talented, she's respectful, and she's very smart.
And stubborn.
Morgan's always really funny.
I bet she's scared of spiders and bugs, and when she sees them, she screams.
My favorite thing about Morgan is how fun she is all the time. No matter what's going on.
Is how easy she is to talk to.
The thing about Morgan is she's always happy.
Her laugh.
The day before coffee house, me and her were holding the sign out in front of the school, and we were having so much fun. We were just talking and laughing.
When I was messing around, and somehow it caught on to capitalize the G in her name. And I have no idea how it happened, but it did, and here we are with her G capitalized on the sheet of paper in front of me.
One of my favorite memories of Morgan was when she was young and had a starring role in Cats at the Syracuse Children's Theater.
I don't have a favorite memory again. I think that all the memories that we've made together in the classroom have been amazing. But maybe what I think when I think about Morgan, what I think about is the goats that we got last year and how she was so caring with them. The relationship that she had with them is probably what I remember the most about her.
Is when she left 6th grade at the Montessori School of Syracuse. She sang a solo that literally had many parents crying. It was so beautiful. She has such a lovely voice.
Say to be confident in yourself but not overconfident.
When she's at ROTC, not to fall into the mud.
If you're ever feeling down, don't be.
Continue to be awesome, because you are. I think that that's about it. And just, you have so much potential because you are so smart. Please make sure that you use it to the fullest. That's all I have to say for you, because you can definitely excel at anything that you want to excel.
You will live your life how you live your each day. So if you live each day to the fullest, you will have a full life.
Anyway, Morgan, my advice to you as you head off to high school is always stay amazed with life. It's one of the things that's charming about you and will serve you well.
Try not to miss me so much.
Never wait for the perfect moment. Use the moment and make it perfect.
Don't die because Glee has ended.
Try to not get too caught up in being outgoing and kind of being with friends and stuff. Kind of try to keep your priorities in order. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Hi, so my name is Sarah Bertino, and I've been best friends with Morgan Barnes since first grade. Some good qualities about Morgan: she is hilarious. Her jokes are the funniest thing in the world. Seriously, she's just hilarious. Her presence, if she's just standing in a room, I'm laughing because she's hilarious. She's so smart. She's super nice and amazing. My favorite thing about Morgan is her singing voice. It's amazing. I'm so jealous. Morgan, if I haven't told you that, you have no idea how jealous I am. Just give me your voice, please. My favorite memory of Morgan is playing Super Kitties with her during recess. Yes, and Morgan, I know you now hate me for bringing that up, but I had to. So you're welcome. I won't say anything else. I promise. Final part. It's time for me to give you advice, which is a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway, okay? Make friends. Take risks. Have fun. Be yourself. Eat some good food, because that's important, and food's amazing. Okay? Bye!
Christopher is a true friend,
Christopher is a classmate slash friend of mine.
We're friends.
A classmate.
Decent friends.
Christopher is a very dear classmate of mine.
Student of mine.
He's my only son. He is my middle child. He is the one who keeps me up at night and the one who always kisses me goodnight.
He's my student.
Christopher is my grandson.
Christopher's a friend of mine.
Very kind.
Christopher always has pretty good comebacks.
All right, my favorite characteristics of Christopher are his sense of humor, his wit, his compassion, his ability to forgive and forget. I think that's hard for some people. A lot of us can forgive, but we have trouble forgetting. And Christopher can very easily forget, and he is happy to just move on.
Christopher can be very, very nice and respectful when Christopher wants to be.
Christopher is smart and he's logical.
Christopher is extremely kind. I love the way that he is with babies. They just seem to gravitate towards him because he has a very gentle soul.
Respectful.
He's sensitive and he's creative and charming.
He's a strong-willed and kind person.
The fact that he does have this very gentle soul, he's extremely polite and respectful. There's just a lot to like about Christopher.
His politeness.
My favorite thing about Christopher is how childish he is. Like, everybody always says, stay a kid, and he's living it out to the fullest. And not in a bad way. Like,
he's very fun to hang out with.
Now, Christopher, I've known for the longest time. I've known him since he was 4 years old when he was in Miss Janie's class, so I do remember him. He was really adorable. What I remember the most about him was that he was always reading. He loved to read.
My favorite memory of Christopher, gosh, I have so many. Okay, we had a wedding, a family wedding, and Christopher was about 4 years old. I'm guessing. I think he was 4. If not, he was younger. We're at a wedding. There are approximately 1,000 people, and they were making toasts to the bride and groom, and I was one of the bridesmaids, so I had to sit up at a different table, and Christopher was sitting with one of my cousins, who is the brother of the bride, and he's sitting with my cousin. My cousin's supposed to be watching him, and all of a sudden Christopher is standing up on the table holding out his hand for the microphone. And all I remember thinking is, oh my gosh, please don't give it to him. And so they did. And as they handed him the microphone, Christopher stood there in front of all these people, and he said, I just want you to know that we love you both very much, and we hope you have a great, happy wedding. And I thought, that was really articulate for somebody so young. And then I thought, that was my kid. Boy, is he going to make me look good. But he has never been afraid to stand up and say what he thinks. And that is absolutely one of my favorite memories. I think that describes him perfectly.
The many times he's been either over to my house or I've been over to his house.
The day he was born, his mother had to have an emergency C-section. And then Christopher got into a medical crisis situation and had to be transported to a hospital 3 hours away to be able to have the specialist that he needed to care for him. And so I had to make the decision at that point, or his mom made that decision for me. Don't let anybody take my baby out of your sight. So when Christopher was 4 hours old, I hopped in the back of an ambulance with him and took that 3-hour ride to Chapel Hill. And so we were there for a couple of days, just Christopher and I, dealing with everything that was going on, and me having still in my back of my mind, I left my baby right after an emergency C-section. And but the time that I had there with Christopher alone, and the fact that they said he's a newborn, so he needs to be held a lot. So I was happy to accommodate them. So we had 2 days of basically Christopher in my lap constantly.
When he wrote secret Valentine letters to every girl in the class.
Don't follow her. Always be yourself.
Stay who you are, and don't give up on anything.
Always be yourself, because you are great just the way you are. Don't let anybody tell you different. I love you.
Strong in his faith, and to always seek advice on helping him to meet deadlines.
Make yourself outgoing, spread yourself out, try to be interactive, and try to actually talk to people, because I feel like you can be a really interesting person when people actually talk to you and people actually like get to know you. So try to spread yourself out a little bit.
To continue being as kind-hearted as he is, and to just go for whatever he wants to do in life. I know that right now it might be anything that has to do with film, just to pursue whatever he enjoys.
Life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Don't change your computer's wallpapers, because I really like them.
You my boy, Blue.
Really good friends.
Blue is one of the students I teach PE for.
My classmate.
My brother.
My good friends.
My student.
My little brother. Blue's a pretty cool guy, and he's a good friend of mine. So
Blue is my dolphin.
My son. He's my student.
Blue is a really good friend of mine who I've known for quite a while now.
Blue is very, very, very nice to almost everybody.
A clever, smart. Blue's really smart. He's like one of the smartest people I know, with like random facts.
That he is very talkative, and when you need help with any work, he will give you the information.
He's incredibly empathetic.
Smart, and he's funny.
Very warm and loving with everybody. He's very bright. He doesn't get upset very easily, which I like.
He is spontaneous. He is funny. He is witty. He is always ready with a hug.
His wit is hilarious, and he's like super smart.
He's charismatic, observant, and brilliant.
His open mind to everything.
That any question, like any random question you have, he's got an answer for you. Even if it's the wrong answer, he's just going to give you an answer.
He likes to see other people be successful, and he celebrates their joy.
I think his heart is big.
Yeah.
I love Blue's heart.
That he's a walking Wikipedia.
That he is so kind-hearted, that he is so pleasant, he's usually happy. He is also brilliant. So he's kind of the class Wikipedia. A wealth of knowledge in every single subject.
Is that he's like a little adult. He's very smart. He's actually really affectionate too, which you don't really see that too often from young men.
Is that he is completely unafraid to just throw himself into something and just learn everything there is to know about something, and explore all angles of something and learn all the ins and outs, and like completely just lose himself in a subject and learning about something, and I really admired that.
That whenever I'm upset, he can make me laugh.
It's the way that he takes his time to explain his knowledge to everyone that wants to know.
His silliness and how he just does anything whenever and doesn't care what anybody says.
When we were in Florida, just spending time with him, yeah, it was really fun.
When I was about 8, Blue and I went to Texas to visit our grandparents, just the two of us together. And I remember all the way there in the 12-hour drive, we just sang and ate lollipops. And it was a pretty good time.
Wow.
When we had a band come in and they were I forgot if it was Bear Orbit or Orbit Bear. And I think the students, he was in elementary, and I remember the way that he spoke. I guess because Blue is a little bit, because now he's gotten very tall. He was a little bit smaller for his age, so I thought that this was like, a very young child speaking in a very grown-up way. Just amazed me at the way that he spoke and the questions that he posed and the wealth of knowledge that he showed when he was speaking to the musician.
My favorite memories of Blue would be that every trip that we ever go on, like as the trip is getting to the end, Blue always, I don't know what happens. I think it's just like all of his barriers fall down and he becomes like the craziest, like out of control and sleepy person I know, and it's just hilarious to watch.
Blue came up to me one day and he was like, yeah, I stopped following you on Instagram. The exercise stuff just started making me feel bad about myself, so I stopped following you, and I just thought it was so funny.
When we were really little, we were at a 4th of July celebration, and we didn't know where he was for a second, and we found him just talking to this random family about, like, family stories. Like, he was telling about this one time our dog ate our cake and how crazy that was. Like, just became friends with these people instantly. Like, he just makes friends really quickly. And
when Blue was an infant, Kat said he was empathetic, and we've said he has a big heart. He, of the 4 of our kids, is the most huggy and loving. When he was an infant, no way.
Aww.
If I would put him on my hip to walk upstairs or across the room, he would swing and pivot so that he could get right in my face and stare at my face and touch it.
My favorite memory of Blue, he knows it's coming, is Cal 52. Cal 52 was a cow that we encountered on our agricultural educational study in Alpha, Florida, where we went and worked on a dairy farm, and I had cautioned the children about chasing the cows, and most of them had decided that chasing the cows was a bad idea, except Blue, who kept running around in the field, and I finally said, Blue, stop chasing the cow. And he said, Miss Kim, I swear, I'm not chasing the cow. The cow's chasing me. And he was right. But eventually the cow wasn't trying to be mean to him. The cow just really liked Blue, and Blue really liked the cow. And it was Cal 52, and he was very upset that we couldn't give it a name, but since it was, a producing animal, they didn't name them. And so he came back to school bound and determined that he was going to adopt Cal 52. And he did this whole big research to try to find out if we could have a cow. And then he was really upset because we couldn't, because we didn't have enough land. But Blue gets an idea in his head and he runs with it, and he's going to find one way or another to try to make it happen. So I've always teased him about his love of Cal 52.
Always make good decisions in your life.
Don't lose either of those two things. Not only because I like them about you, but they're really good qualities to have. Don't lose your curiosity. Don't feel like it's not cool to like really nerd out about something and learn a lot about something. It's definitely cool. And don't let the harshness of the world convince you that being friendly and making friends and all that and reaching out to people is not worth it, because it's definitely worth it.
Stay classy.
Never stop learning. I know that that's something that you enjoy, and every time you learn something new, I love the fact that you share it with everybody that you know. If you don't understand it, you investigate, and you are extremely thorough, and you never walk away without a complete, clear understanding. That is a very noble quality, and never lose that.
Ask yourself if what you're doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow.